Hold on, time out, time out. We're not even seeing this thing showing up online. Oh, here we go. Doop, I just ruined that. We'll cut this part out. Starting with our absentee panelist here, our Chief Grumpy Intelligence Officer, Sarcasm Detector, is on assignment right now trying to gather a little bit more intel on Agents of Yesteryear. But
Arc Survival Evolved.
Darth Proteus has given us some information here tonight that we'll be using, so thank you very much, good sir, for filling in for some of that intelligence. We're also greeted here with our Chief Ironic Medic, Captain MK.
Hello.
We also have a Chief of Cheesy Tactics and probably very, very, very much in anticipation of Agents of Yesterday here, Captain SOB.
You know it. Hello.
And our Chief Holo Matrix, our Chief of Immersion, our Chief Ship Porn Officer, and the Chief of Technology right now, Zeph from Zeph Films.
What up?
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being on here tonight. All right, start off with the easy stuff here first. Obviously, folks, we know Bonus XP Weekend is coming up here. We know we have the patch notes that are out. A lot of the Tribble stuff is for Tribble content. Where is the other fun stuff that I had here? Are we seeing anything here, MK, that we should probably pay attention to a little bit, or something that you think should be addressed in an upcoming patch?
As far as the new patch notes, I'm still digesting them. It's quite a list for those that haven't seen it. There's some fixes that people have been asking for. There's a couple that please me infinitely, like the fix to inelastic collisions, where it will no longer proc on every tick of extend shields. So I can actually use it without fearing the cheese. I hear it'll break some hearts out there. That's very sad.
Yeah, we're sorry about breaking hearts here, but you know, the game has some rules. We wanted to be able to follow the rules, and bug fixes are definitely a much needed thing.
Like I said, a lot of the bug fixes, if you look, I don't know if you want to actually go into this in detail now or if you want to wait till a little bit later, but a lot of the fixes, like half of the list, seem to be what you would term quality of life or simple bug fixes to missions and stuff like that. That's cool.
It is. It shows that they're actually polishing up their product and they're prepping to move forward with this, especially for the console and especially for the release of Agents of Yesterday.
That's exactly why they're tightening stuff up. I mean, we're starting to see some of the benefits that the console release will bring to the PC side already, I think. And a lot of them are probably in progress that can't be talked about, can only be theorized about. But one that I like to bring up is the fact that since all the consoles are essentially AMD APUs running DirectX 11 for their dev kits, that the DX11 code path that STO has on the PC will probably get some significant performance boosts.
That would be nice.
That again, that's pure conjecture. I have no actual pure theory, but could see it.
Oh, get this. Changes going live on this one here on June 2nd. I'm loving this one already. The attribute sets, the one where we have powers that are checking every single thing at once, and then this is going to be brilliant.
Yep, some of the stuff they had on Tribble, if I recall, there were at least some of those fixes in place on Tribble. And from am I correct there?
Yes, based on what we were going to discuss, actually, Zeph, if you want to bring that up right now, here's a good segue into it. When we did the testing between you, myself, Darth Proteus, and a couple other folks, I can't remember the names off the top of the head. I believe Astro Zombie was with us as well. Maybe
I'd be curious to see what you guys came up with.
Yeah, it was a world of difference. There was one night where actually I didn't get to go on the RedShirt run with everyone, but we went to Tribble, and after about half an hour, we finally got 5 people to form a group. But that HSC was a world of difference. Like the last time I did HSC on Holodeck, that was a slideshow, like just absolute slideshow. And when we did it on Tribble, it was, I'm not gonna, there was still a few hiccups here and there, but it was a major, major, major improvement. I'm really, really looking forward to this improvement being pushed to Holodeck tomorrow.
I'm glad to see it was able to be pushed ahead this quickly. I was expecting it to, at minimum, take another week, so I'm very pleased to see that.
What
We'll be here
my
tomorrow.
sources said is it was going to take a lot longer than it has, and that's good.
Yeah, if this is going to turn out as good as like on Holodeck, if the copy over from no, that's the other factor that we weren't really able to take into account was server load. When we did it, there wasn't really anybody on Tribble running the STFs. So that's another factor that we're going to have to look into tomorrow. But I remain optimist. Like this, I really hope that this carries over. And if it does carry over good, you know what? Hell, I'm going to give an impromptu advanced thank you to Bordicus for, and whoever else worked on that coding. Like kudos on you guys for identifying that major thing. Like even the explanation made sense. So, hell, yeah, I think this is the third time I'm saying it, but I'm excited for tomorrow.
Indeed, indeed. There's also something else on here that may upset SOB just a tiny bit here.
Oh, do tell.
Is the changes to how pen works. So actually the fixes as to how pen works.
I just want you to step back here a moment and remember.
It's not just pen, also.
I know, but just tell me, what weapons have I been using as of late?
Coldest. Guess what Coldest doesn't have?
Well, all right. But overall, I mean, the pen trait, Intel fleet.
Odin is just trying to make you mad.
Stacked.
He's just trying to make you theoretically mad.
No. I was just projecting other people onto him and using him as a straw man for it.
Mad out of principle, SOB.
I actually am glad about the pen change, if you can believe it, because it's nice to have that out.
I'm
But
glad
also,
for fairness.
it also increases the value of coalition disruptors, Odin.
You dick.
What do you think I brought him on there to specifically point this out? but I'm here to rob the players, so it's all good.
It's a little bit of a DPS loss for me probably, but come on, guys, don't be so greedy. Power creep is totally like crazy these days, and I would rather a mechanics fix result in a small loss in DPS and potentially improve server performance, which I think is the reason for the change.
Part of it is a big no in the game mechanics realm. When you have a power that's only supposed to affect one item and one item only, and then is suddenly affecting other abilities, powers, attacks that it shouldn't be, that's a problem.
Yeah, I'm cool with this. Like I said, I like when cheese gets fixed. I really do. It makes me feel a little bit better about playing the game.
Just on the point of lag, there was another thing that we also tested on Tribble, was in ISA. Everybody's loved STF. Again, there wasn't the server load like you would see in Holodeck, but we did a 3-2 in ISA, which normally lags it all to hell.
Alan, if the devs want to have another like load Tribble weekend, I'm sure we can accommodate them.
Oh God, yeah, totally. But we did the 3-2, and as you guys already know, a 3-2, especially when you pop both sides at the same time, can cause like a real shitstorm lag-wise, right? There was a little bit of lag, but it was nowhere near as bad as what we experienced in the past. So It's yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased.
There are a couple other things. Well, actually, not a couple. Not a couple. I stand corrected here. Not a couple. A lot of fixes on little things here that improves the quality of life among different pieces of gear. And I'm just only going to say this only because I'm just a member of the community. Please fix some of the issues with the torps. There's torps that are broken. That's all. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, I'm loving this stuff here. I mean, even like pieces of gear like the Omega Force Impulse engines that is actually now going to probably reduce the cooldown on Slipstream. Like quality of life improvement for people who actually like those engines. I like that. That's good.
Minor fixes make me happy all of the time.
Well, now subnucleonic carrier wave no longer treated as a science bridge officer ability. Some people are going to go wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, but again, that's where that is a fix to working as intended, just like the pen stuff is. It's working as intended. That doesn't leave the bad taste in my mouth that say the multiple versions of the plasma consoles did. Totally different situation. This is okay.
Oh, but it's good. I mean, we're going to post a link in the show notes here because this is a lot of stuff here.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yes, it does. And this is some really good fixes here.
Yeah,
especially some of the UI stuff we haven't even gotten into yet.
This is a really meaty set of patch notes. We're happy.
Very much so. Back on a little bit on the client server performance issues between Tribble, Holodeck, and RedShirt. A little bit before we also use this as a segue to our next topic here. On there, I mean, I know we have a lot of new content that seems to be coming in with a lot of the Tribble patch notes. They're adding some more content with each major patch that they do. Are we noticing any sort of, say, latency, delay, UI lag, client server lag, that sort of thing that has plagued Holodeck happening on Tribble? For those people in the audience who've actually played this beforehand, could you type out what your experiences are in this? But Zeph, Mikey, SOB, I don't know if you have or not, but if you guys have any experience in there other than just running an instance or two, what do you have to share concerning this?
Lately, I can frankly say I haven't done much testing, especially reading these patch notes. I'm incredibly motivated to do some tomorrow, though.
SOB, Zeph.
Go ahead.
Sorry, what was the question?
What have you experienced aside from just running the instances on Tribble that you've noticed as far as the performance of the missions, story arc, whatever?
I've had decent performance, so it's about the same as I'd have on Holodeck with Tribble, but I did have some really, really weird issues over on RedShirt. Myself and Proteus, actually, we both had issues during some of the queues we were doing over there during those tests. And meanwhile, people running the same hardware that were also on the team had no issues. It was really, really weird. I hope that doesn't hit Holodeck. I don't even know really what caused that.
Yeah, wow, I can't even stutter. I'm the chief stuttering strategist. Aside from doing the HSC and the ISA runs, the majority of my time has actually been just quickly playing through the new TOS stuff that's been released to Tribble. Other than your normal bugs that you would see with new content coming out, which is totally expected, the only real thing that I keep getting hung up with that I don't see in Holodeck is I keep getting occasional timeout to the account server and SNRs on map transfers. Now, the number of times is I can count on both hands, so it's not a lot, and I have been on Tribble a lot. So, yeah, there's been a few SNRs during map transfers on Tribble that I haven't really been experiencing on Holodeck as of late. So, I don't know if that's just a Tribble thing, but Yeah, if there's some line of code that you can take a look at, just make sure that doesn't copy over. That would be fabulous. Thank you.
Appreciate the feedback. And Darth Proteus as well is saying the Tribble performance has been pretty decent so far. And yeah, RedShirt was horrible in comparison. So we do appreciate that there. Going into what we're actually seeing here, now, especially now that we mentioned Darth Proteus on this, he found this out here when he was running a couple missions. SOB, you want to lead off with the spoilers that we found out here? So, spoiler alert for those who don't want to see what PowerCreep is coming up. Please shut this stream off.
It's on Tribble though, so
it's on Tribble though.
It was actually removed from Tribble just a little bit ago. I found out. They've removed the store, but the NPC that has the rewards, the account-wide rewards for the Delta Recruit event, that Temporal Agent, had a Temporal Agent tab following this latest patch. Now, a lot of the items make it look like it's just been copy-pasted stuff, so it's obviously nowhere near what the finished product is going to be. But the thing to really highlight out of this, the biggest one to me, was the reward that we get for completing all of the reputations. It will grant for all of our characters on our account 1,500 marks of our choice, 750,000 energy credits, a lithium voucher for the reputation store, and an upgrade on all future gear purchases from the reputation store to Mark 14 ultra rare quality. Now, this is not your set pieces. This would mean, I'm guessing by that, the stores. So if I wanted to get a set of, say, Romulan plasma beam arrays for some reason, I'd get them at Mark 14 ultra rare at like the same cost, I imagine. So that's very, very nice.
All of these are subject to change.
Yes, all very much subject to change. There's also a reward for completing all of the specializations. And it basically unlocks if I'm reading it right, a third version of all of the traits from the specialization. So pedal to the metal, predictive algorithms, command frequency, all of those. Which, if that's true, I'm very interested in seeing what command frequency 3 would be like, because that's just an awesome trait.
2.5 minute cooldown.
Oh
man, it can't be that good. Maybe 3 minutes, but maybe they'll add another little perk to it, like a chance to summon a freaking battleship or something.
And then the other thing I really want to highlight is, I imagine this is probably near final completion. It's near its final state, is the Starship trait. It's called Critical Systems, and looks like it's based on you using emergency power to subsystem abilities. It will increase your overall damage and increase your crit chance. So if that's what it does, it's going to be probably a must-have trait, depending on the numbers on it. Overall,
why does it have to be tied to an emergency power 2 ability? Really?
Because you should have something on there that has.
My day has come.
Odin, you need to start using emergency power to subsystem abilities.
But why?
Because EPTS is good for you.
No.
It's what plants. EPTS is what plants crave.
But I have tanks.
EPTS is great for tanks. And me, you do have me, which is a mobile EPTS. But still, this is great for. And I mean, the other thing is, on high crit builds, this is not going to be. I mean, the actual rate has not been released, if I remember, on the tooltips. It just shows that some crit will be offered. It's probably not going to be a huge number, and it's probably not going to make a big difference in the high crit builds, guys.
It might not, but
a little bit, maybe a little bit.
I'm most interested in the rewards for the specialization The Doffing also has a nice one where it'll give you additional DOF roster slots. Now, we don't know the exact number, and of course, everything with this is subject to change. They've already quickly pulled it down. It was up on Tribble for, 30, 45 minutes? So, we'll find out in a few weeks, whenever they decide to release Agents yesterday, which, by the way...
encouraging.
For those that want to know when Agents of Yesterday is coming out, the releases, they follow about a 13-week pattern, give or take a week or two. So if we follow that, Agents of Yesterday should be coming out, I would say the earliest possible would be July 12th. But based off everything I've been reading on Reddit and with the event timeline, it's most likely going to end up being July 26th, which will also sync up with the new Star Trek movie.
You're just our stow weatherman for releases, aren't you?
You know, he's been right plus or minus a week, so yeah, I'm not going to doubt him.
Oh,
Hey, one of our audience wants to know when the release is, SOB. She didn't hear.
I would have to say, I'm guessing July 12th or July 26th.
This is our speculation.
Time to start a pool.
Yeah, this is speculation and a guess based on patterns and stuff. And
Previous
science.
trends.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Metrics.
We've got some
Metrics.
chicken bones here, and they seem to be fairly indicative.
No. Based off of previous trends and metrics, SOB has made a prediction. Let's see if it holds up.
Well,
And if it doesn't hold up, SOB is going to go back into his black hole for 6 more weeks.
No. SOB is going to give everybody a cool Raider.
No.
Let's make the disclaimer that was a joke.
Yes, heavy sarcasm. Well, he's not here. We can't detect it. Damn.
I don't think he's very heavy.
No, he's not.
No,
Wow.
it's just that over the last year and a half, 2 years, almost all of their releases have been around a 13-week pattern, give or take, as I said, a week or two.
So Maria wants to place bets on this, and I bet you she's going to be the closest. Yeah, can we call insider trading on that one? Can we? Really? No. But we thank Maria for joining us here. For those who don't know, Maria Rosol is the producer over at Cryptic Studios, and she does some excellent work. She had a really huge hand on Agents of Yesterday, and
She's also the EPO vendor.
Yeah. Anyway, continuing on, what's your assessment of the power creep on this one, SOB?
Well, I mean, we really need elites. That's my answer. I mean,
Please, we've gotten shut down on a lot lately. Elites would be nice to not get shut down on. There's no reason for that.
it's just a joke. Most of these queues we have now are a joke with power creep. Hive Elite's going to be a joke tomorrow when we're able to hopefully run through it without lag, especially with feedback pulls in its current state, which, by the way, that needs to be buffed.
All right. Any comments? Any other comments on this before we move on?
I don't know about what you guys are talking about. Power creep. My numbers aren't creeping anywhere. They're fucking stale as shit. Staying at the same. Triggered.
Well, calm down. You're
No,
good.
it's there. It's just I need to get good and gold plate
Reported
my
for
shit.
triggering.
Yeah, and spam spacebar and do circles. So.
Hey, speaking of spam, that's one thing that maybe needs to be attended to. There's a lot more spammers in the last month.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ!
We were just before we went on. I was over on Tribble, and unfortunately, I've shut down STO because, well,
The gold spammers on Tribble.
well, it's the well, no, not gold spammer, but there's a lot of friend requests, and then as soon as you get the request, it's like they've removed you from their friends list. I'm just like,
I want to mention this on air. I've already posted about this or made a post about this, but do not type the names of these vendors in chat. They are auto-ban terms, and it is difficult to negotiate your way back in the game if you have been banned for typing gold spammers' names. So don't type the company or anything like that. Nothing.
wait, so if you get the ad handle and be like, hey, did anybody get a thing from this person?
I don't know about the handle. I know for sure they'll auto ban on company name. Like
Oh,
for
company
example, EG is not your pal. You know what I mean?
name.
But they could adjust those terms, and it's just safer to not mention it at all. I mean, mention, yeah, oh god, I got a gold spammer. Everyone commiserate on how much it sucks, but don't mention the name, or most importantly, the company name or the URL of the website or anything like that. It's
God,
bad.
Yeah,
It's
don't.
bad mojo for everybody. But I mean, more specifically, you might get banned.
Speaking of gold, there's a crisis here in Canada.
Yeah, the guy from Flight of the Navigator went to jail.
No, it's much more important than that. The Perfect World cards are disappearing up here. And yeah, it sucks. So if you're in Canada, EB Games does not carry Perfect World cards anymore. So if you know of a shop that still has them, please comment on the show comments below or let us know in the chat so other Canadians can be aware of where to get them, because our Canadian dollar is still doing shit. So in order to buy $50, oh yeah, Luke Critter just said Best Buy's no longer carrying them either. Yeah, to get $50, I think it's still about $65 Canadian to get $50 in Sen. I don't know the exact reason why these are being pulled off the shelf, but I think it might have to do with the exchange, because if we're buying them from the store, it's like $25 equals $25, and maybe the company's getting hit with the, I don't know, it's speculation, but 7-Eleven has dropped them. The only other store that I still have to go check is Max Milk, see if they have them, because they usually do. But yeah, sad times for us Canadians. It's yeah, it sucks.
This message was brought to you by the Canadian Broadcasting Company, being friendly to every single Canadian since 1865.
Fueled
Sounds
by maple
like
syrup.
sounds like we need to make Canada great again.
Canada already is great, dude. Keep your Trumpisms down there. Thank you.
Well, speaking of something that is actually great, I'm going to jump around a little bit on this one here. Yvette has done a very nice rendition of the Chimera and Manticore, except put a TOS field to it. So we're going to put the link to this thing here on the show notes. Is it possible? Let me see if I can actually share the screen and load this thing up, because this thing is a freaking beaut.
Actually, I was just about to try that. Hold on.
All right, you go ahead with that. But this thing is a freaking beauty, man. I mean, it was like, dang. I already like the Manticore and the Chimera. And by the way, Thomas the Cat, thank you very much for giving me a nice ship design with that thing. And to whoever actually designed that, the actual bridge officer and the capabilities of that ship, bravo. Thank you very much. You made the kinetic community very happy, especially those who bought lifetime accounts. Yes, thank you very much. But the ship, though, it looks nice. Maria, is there any way that we can put the USS Yvette in game? Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that.
There we go.
We can do that, right?
Up on the stream.
Because we should be able to do that. I mean, this is a good platform right here. And we modernized it throughout the decades, so yeah, it would look nice. Just saying.
So this is, sorry, I got the image up on the stream right now.
Go for it.
So for your consideration, folks, this was made by one of our STO friends, Yvette, and yeah, that's a nice TOS spin on it. I like it. It's similar to, oh, what the hell is that ship? The Ranger? Is that what it was?
What was that?
It's similar to the Ranger almost, isn't it?
Kind of, sort of.
But no, I like this TOS spin to the Chimera. It's pretty badass. So, but yeah, we'll have that link if you want to take a closer look at it.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful ship. So, yeah, and anybody who disagrees with me, you're obviously smoking crack. So,
It'd be
moving right
better
along.
if it had intel.
Oh, get out of here.
I don't do crack. I just like the smell of it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But you're selective. Anyway, let's jump over to this one over here. Mikey, you have a link, something here with STO builds?
I do. Well, I mean, a lot of times I tend to miss this for one reason or another. A lot of times we're just so chock full of show that I fail to mention it. So I want to make a profound apology to H2O, since I always do. But yeah, I kind of want to plug this week. Every week or most weeks in STO builds, we do a review. I don't, but the less lazy members do a review of a ship. Kind of an in-depth review on what it can do, what some of its roles might be. Should you get it if you're X or Y? And it usually foments some pretty decent discussion. So this week, it's the Benthan ship, which, I don't know if it's all that contextual, but it's what we've got this week. So visit STO Builds, and if you've got anything to add to the conversation, please do.
And of course, we'll put the link in the show notes there where you'll be able to go through. The Benthans actually is a pretty robust ship, very powerful. And I'm trying to remember the trait on that.
It's used a lot for
viral,
tanking, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's the viral torpedo. It used to be really nasty in PvP back when Delta Rising came out.
Yeah. The problem with that was that if you put a lot of your heavy rolling torpedoes out, the slow rollers, as I used to call them back then, is that it would actually apply the viral matrix shutdown on the ship before it actually impacts the ship. The torpedo actually impacts the ship. So you could launch it. They would see this big torpedo coming their way. They would, one, try to activate abilities and realize, they can't do anything with the bridge officer because it's been shut down, even though the torpedo didn't hit them. So, two, then they would panic, hit rock and roll, and they would rock and roll right into the torpedo. As soon as they come out of the rock and roll, boom, they were dead. So, yeah, I miss those days. Anyway, going through this here. Feedback pulse. Why must you be so overpowered? Maria, can we get this thing nerfed, please? Because there's something really screwy with the coefficients on this one. Yes.
Look.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anybody running around in an ISA and getting anywhere between 20 to 30 or even more K DPS off of just hitting a button
Odin,
and getting feedback pulse? No.
Odin, this makes threat builds extremely good right now, okay? I quite like it.
Up the threat without killing damage.
I recently brought out my Science Audi to mess with it on my Trump character. And just after a few runs, I had my Sci Audi up to over 200 with, and it was amazing too. What was stupid was one run, it was a complete pug run. I ended at 240 with almost 60k from feedback pulse 2 in a cruiser. Odin, I know it may sound crazy to you, but I actually want to see feedback pulse get nerfed. I like it.
Hold up. As freaking sarcasm detector is gone for a night, and you're already calling for nerfs to cheesy items. I need to make sure he's here just so I can see if there is actual sarcasm in his comment or not.
It's I really like it. Martok in chat. I like it. It's made my science character really viable, but it's just stupidly OP right now.
Now, mind you, to get those type of numbers, what do you actually need to do with feedback pulse other than just slap the bridge officer ability?
I had particle manipulator on. I had really, really high threat generation. I had Delta on with Delta Prime. I had 4 part or EPG consoles. Yeah, it is just what I'm gonna go to what Ernest said here. Feedback pulse is broken. So feedback pulse, from what I recall, I may be slightly wrong on this. It doesn't suffer from diminishing returns with debuffs on your team. So it will just keep stacking up and being buffed by all of these debuffs on your team, just getting amplified like mad. It's why feedback pulse sucks when you're in a solo map like DPS Mark, and it's so good whenever you get a team like in Hive or ISA. I mean, in Hive, I've seen people getting hundreds of thousands of DPS spikes right off the bat because of feedback pulse. It's just crazy.
Do you think it's something that needs to actually be toned down with the coefficient between part gens contributing to the feedback pulse damage, or is it just the actual multiplier for just feedback pulse itself with no part gens? It's just saying, this is way too high as far as its base damage. That needs to get scaled back.
I think it's fine there. I think they just need to resolve the issue in which it's being amplified like mad by any debuffs on the team, because it's not the only science ability doing a lot of DPS post 11.5. I mean, go look at the CCA parses where you have people getting 100k on a science captain out of Gravwell and Subspace Vortex. It's not the only thing getting crazy numbers, it's just getting them stupidly easy.
Yeah, but stuff like Subspace Vortex has been significantly boosted with 11.5 and the consolidation of the skills, the coefficient change for part gens contributing to that, Gravwell. But I mean, it is all right. All right, here's something we can actually test then. If we can actually see if things like the Crenum Science console, the one that if you do like a hull heal, shield heal, you get a plus 6% damage increase, if that'll affect feedback pulse more than just a straight up stacking part gens and seeing what happens with it. That might actually be able to fish out exactly where that thing is actually being buffed at the most, whether it's the part gen stacking versus just having other old damage multipliers stacking on top of feedback pulse. Bueller.
You know what else I think needs to be nerfed, Odin?
Fire at will.
Not fire at will, but I do think that there's a certain
That's not
console.
funny.
There is a certain console that I feel should be nerfed, Odin.
Oh, do tell. What console is this?
The vulnerability locators that buff kinetic weapons.
Why you got to do that? I mean, they're bad as it is right now, according to you. Why you want to buff? Yeah, I mean, nerf something that's already bad.
It should only perform at the Mark 1 level, basically.
Okay,
Not the Mark 14.
All right. I'm done with this guy. Get him out of here. Anything else that we need to cover here as far as feedback pulse is concerned? Nope. Good. All right. Moving in over here. Zeph, we're actually going to go to you and something that you wanted to bring up with the community here before we go to the builds.
Yeah, so I'm going to be starting my my little thing that I touched on a couple of weeks ago. It's going to be community kit bashing. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting out a little flyer that I've kind of already made with some more details. But what I'm going to be looking for is people to do up their best kit bashes in-game. And then take a screenshot and then submit it to me. And again, those details will be available TDB. And then what I'm going to do is all those submissions I'm going to get various people in the community to kind of maybe pick like the best, like the top 10. And then those top 10, I'm going to reach out to those people and we're going to make a video showcasing those 10 kit bash ships. So kit bash ship porn, pound signed in front of it, not hashtag. So that is in the works right now. So I try not to promote my stuff, but this is a community thing, and I really want people to get in on it and have some fun and show off some cool creations and see what people can do with the ships. So yeah, so stay tuned for details on that.
We appreciate it. And any links or any other text that you want to put on there, please have it ready for us. We'll just toss it on the show notes, and then folks will know exactly what's going on with it.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. All right, so we've had a request coming out here by, where did I put that thing? Here we go. By one Redditor named Bridgern. I hope I didn't butcher that name a little too badly. Where we wanted to come up with a Fleet Tier 6 Galaxy builds. And that would be for the budget build and the deluxe / I got money to burn and here's how I'm going to fling my bling, that sort of thing. So we wanted to go with this. And I told them to, hey, post it up on STO builds because you have a plethora of people over there who'll be able to contribute their ideas and their angles towards this. The only restriction that he had really pretty much there is going to be a threat tank / I'm going to, kick some butt, but I'm going to survive everything that's tossed at me. So we have this here, and we're going to put the link here in the show notes to be able to go through that build. And anybody who has any ideas, feel free to contribute to this. I specifically commissioned Yvette to actually go through and do an analysis from scratch on how they would build this ship. And Yvette has came through with me and then some, which I'll also include in the show notes as well as in the link for that specific thread. And he went through in detail for every single bit and why you should have it. And I bravo, applaud, beautiful. I think this is something here where this shows that if one of us here doesn't know something, we're able to tap into the resources and the knowledge that other people may have. And this is what actually builds a community. Even if it's something as silly as playing video games, that type of community knowledge, it gets tapped by all of us here. I'm weak on some builds here, but I'm strong on others. I know I can trust SOB on strong DPS builds concerning cannons. I can trust Mikey on strong healing builds. I can trust Zeph Films on flying around and looking pretty doing it while kicking up numbers. We could even do cannon builds with it. I mean, no, it's true, man. It's true.
Cannons are fun these days.
It's true, though. I mean, your numbers may not be as high as where you'd like to see an improvement on, but let's be real. You're now well above the 1% mark. So shut up and take a bow.
Fine.
Seriously. Exactly. So, but you do it with style. And that's the thing. A lot of people just come over here, min-max, and then go with it. You do it with style, and some people appreciate that in this game. Actually, you see a lot more people appreciate that in this game. And Darth Proteus will tell you here, once you get a new video card, STO is a freaking gorgeous-looking game.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to the environmental boys and girls and the ship art boys and girls over there for doing that type of work. Because when I got my new vid card, and it was like, yo, this thing is actually pretty damn nice. And you take advantage of that. You do. And you can build a cannon build and put out high numbers, and it really doesn't require a lot of effort or money. It really does not. It doesn't. You can look at Astro Zombie, who's put up a couple videos on that. You know what? I'm going to link a couple of those in here as well. Who's actually done that. Scotty's done that. You've done that. Darth Proteus done that. A whole bunch of other people there have done that. And we're sharing that knowledge to the community so you can do it too. Because a lot of people say in the threads, oh, I can't do this because I want to keep my ship canon and look pretty. We have Trizio, who's over there from Star Trek Battles, him and the entire crew over there at Star Trek Battles are showing that not only can it be done, you can still have fun doing it. So it is possible.
I just want to jump in. It's canon with one N for those that were confused.
Yes, canon as in as seen on TV. You can do a canon as seen on TV build and do well in it and not have to settle for 2K or 3K DPS or not have to feel like you're not contributing, so you're staying out of things and challenging yourself. It's not even a huge challenge. Let's be honest here.
Setting that type of arbitrary limit is a lot of fun. I mean, with the lack of challenge currently in the game, it's kind of the only way to challenge yourself is to set those arbitrary limits, like running a Trinity or running a Canon 1N build and things like that. That's the whole reason they exist, is for fun. Fun is a thing. Anyone that doesn't understand that some things are just for fun is stupid.
And that's the point, though. You can have fun, still contribute, and still be good. And you're not sacrificing anything.
Yeah, the video that's playing over the stream right now, and sorry about the quick little bit of music that played, but that's the Canon with one N, Advanced Heavy Cruiser T6, so the Excelsior, in ISA done by Astro Zombie. He made the build to Canon with shit missing because it's not expected until Tuesday. Ha.
Nice. So going back to Bridgerton's build here, though, with this, I mean, he's got a Galaxy that's going to show up there and be a fleet ship. It's going to take damage. It's going to dish out some damage. It's going to survive a lot of things that are going out there. And the advice that has been given from the STO builds community has helped him modify that build and will help other people who are looking for builds similar to that or maybe even exactly like that. They want to fly a Tier 6 Galaxy. They want to look like what they see in the next generation. Have this big Galaxy-class ship come over there, show up on the scene, and dominate. Here's how you could do it on a budget, and here's how you could do it if money or time or both is no object to you. So bravo to everybody who's contributed to that. Kudos to Yvette for coming up with a very detailed analysis. I want to thank you very much for doing that. Now I see here. Oh, this is going to be good. SOB, yeah, this is your ball right here, man. Come on, take this one. SOB.
As I unmute my mic, obviously we have the pen changes coming with this patch, so we may end up doing a wipe for 75k plus, but it depends on what we see after the patch tomorrow, because we could not get accurate testing done on Tribble and RedShirt due to there being a bug over there where Leech and Supremacy and anything else that gave plus all power stopped working. So we'll see tomorrow if we need to do a wipe.
Thank you for that public service announcement by the Stuttering League. Exactly. Thank you very much. This week in Trek, we're actually going to do a little bit of that throwback on there. Mikey, take this one away here and to wrap up the show, please.
You had to do it right as I took a bite, didn't you?
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, okay, all right. You want me to take this one here? I'll take the first one. You get the second one here. All right. Rene Auberjonois has a birthday today. Today. You know, I actually like him.
He's amazing. He's a 72. Is that right?
72, I believe. Hold on. Let me look
76.
76.
Wow. Yep. Wow. Dude, man, 76. It's good stuff.
He's had a long career as well. His son is just directed his first movie, I believe, something like that.
Congratulations to him too. I'm pretty sure, seeing 76 years on this planet, you've seen a lot of science and technology take off with it, and he acted in a series that was very much hyping science, technology, and the human experience in it.
And it was a deeply loved character as well. I really don't know anyone that didn't like Odo.
Dude, he nailed Odo, and as much as I hate to say this because I hate this little corny soft romance sort of thing in TV series. But him and Kira was a nice touch.
It wasn't bad. It
was a nice touch.
It felt a little stiff, and initially, I watched it when I was younger, and I was like, this is cheesy. I rewatched it as an adult with a little bit more emotional development, and I kind of realized it was stiff because Odo is stiff. Like, that character is acted. I've seen Rene Auberjonois in other stuff, and he's not a stiff actor. But Odo was a very rigid, a very disciplinarian type of character, and it was just played that way. It was played super straight, and so it made sense at that time. It became more natural to me, and ever since, I never had a problem with it.
Yeah, for those who are talking in the chat, yeah, I remember him from Benson. He was a pretty funny character there too, and it was more like not so much stiff like Odo, but it was very much a restrictive and anal retentive type. But he did it very well.
It always surprises me what voiceovers and other things like that he's done as well. He's been pretty prolific there.
You want to handle the last piece here before we take the show off?
Let's see what we got. Last little piece is, oh man, this is sad, but yeah. We'll bring this up and cause Maria to break into tears. NBC canceled TOS, the original series, after 3 very groundbreaking seasons. The last original episode aired 2 days from now in the year 1969. So that's pretty big. The 50th is coming up as well. I mean, a lot of Trek milestones as far as time has passed are coming up. And we're also losing some of these actors that are getting older. And I don't want to think about the next one we're going to lose.
They've given us a lot of good years, and this is something that has literally inspired generations to come to go into science and technology, or at least be a little bit more scientific and technologically literate.
I am what I am because I grew up watching Geordi and Scotty. That's a direct attribution to those characters. The wanting to have the desire to figure things out, to fix things was, they were good. It showed that people that repaired things were a valued member of the crew, and it really made me feel like I could make a career out of it, and I did.
And you have to love it when you have a community who were very much inspired by Star Trek itself to write letters to NASA and stating that, hey, you know what? The next type of spacecraft that you have should at least include the name Enterprise in one of them.
Yep. And so the test orbiter was duly named Enterprise. It showed that, the people can make a difference, and they have. I mean, look at the next, not the class ship Gerald R. Ford class carrier, but the second one, I believe. She'll be named Enterprise.
Oh, not the Reagan, the Bush.
No, the Gerald R. Ford class, I believe it is.
The Ford class. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. The second Ford class, I think, or maybe the third. Someone can correct me on that, but she'll be the Enterprise. And honestly, I don't really see a long time going by that we don't have an Enterprise in the fleet.
I will say this: the first deep space craft that either NASA, ESA, IRO, or whoever else wants to develop, or maybe it would be another international effort. The first human deep space craft should be named Enterprise, and you heard it first on the show. And with that said, we're going to close out this episode of the show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Maria, for jumping in here and giving us some good laughs, as well as a little bit of tidbit of information here. Thank you very much, Captain SOB, Captain MK, and Zeph from Zeph Films. We'll see you out there. Peace.
Good night.
Have a good night. And fire phasers.
Phasers?
And discard torpedoes.
Yeah, phasers?
Yo, 5 phases, man.
Are we off
Photon
air so I can see
torpedoes
the
are gonna come right
font?
behind them.